There we go. Let's get started, everyone. The University of Washington acknowledges the Coast Salish peoples of this land, the land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Squamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. We acknowledge the people, past, present, and future of the Duwamish tribe, the Muckleshoot tribes, and the other tribes on whose traditional lands we study and work. It's an important acknowledgement. And so I think I just wanted to share that with all of you. And now let's get going. So excited to welcome our guest speaker. For those of you who are UW employees, you might recognize this nonprofit. We have Aaron Long from the Low Income Housing Alliance joining us, and he'll share more about their fabulous programs. For those of you who are not familiar with Lehigh, they were our featured charity this year, our featured nonprofit for the UW. And I just think the work that they're doing is so important. You know, over the last 2 years, we've had an eviction moratorium and it's expiring. And even though that moratorium was in place, I feel like we were just seeing more and more unhoused folks in the Seattle-King County area. You know, between wage stagnation, inflation, and the rising costs of housing in our region, moving off the streets and into housing is harder than ever. And I'm just really grateful that there are organizations like Lehigh there to help address this issue on an individual basis and really work with people as individual people to help transition them off the street and into whatever housing or whatever next step of life is appropriate for them. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Aaron Long from the Low Income Housing Alliance. Aaron.
Hi, Jolynn. Thanks for having me. Do you want me to just jump right into my presentation?
You go right ahead and jump in, friend.
Okay. Sharing my screen. Okay, I am a representative from the Low Income Housing Institute. We have 3 main lines of business. Affordable housing. We have over 3,000 units of affordable housing throughout the Puget Sound region in 6 counties. That is our oldest line of business. Last year was our 30th anniversary. The urban rest stops. We used to have one in the U District, but unfortunately we lost our lease. But we have 2 other locations, one in Ballard and one in downtown. The urban rest stops provide free laundry and hygiene services to homeless people. There's showers, laundry, bathrooms. We also often have little events where people can get a haircut or get foot care from a nurse, that kind of thing. That business has been operating for 20 years. And then our newest line of business, but probably the one you're most familiar with, because it gets the most press and is kind of just the most visible, is our Tiny House Village program. We have 16 tiny house villages in Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, and it should have added, and Bellingham now, providing shelter and case management basically to any homeless person. We house populations that are often hard to house, including couples and people with pets. We do have some housing in the University District, including the Marion West, which is an innovative project that's won all kinds of awards, but the innovative thing about it is that it combines a number of services under one roof. The University District Food Bank is on the ground level. There's a Street Bean Cafe, which is a job training cafe for homeless people, teaching them to be baristas. It's right next to our library, your library. And also supportive services are provided on site by Youth Care and Ryther. As you can see in the middle bottom picture, there is a rooftop garden which grows food directly for the food bank. Another property we have in the University District is Gossett Place. This is 62 units of permanent supportive housing for homeless veterans and also young adults. Supportive services there are contracted with Sound Mental Health and the VA. Gossett Place is named after former King County Councilperson Larry Gossett, who is in the lower right picture there. And then I'll talk about some more recently opened projects. Aspen Court is in Tacoma. It was a Comfort Inn, and we purchased it, and it's being used temporarily for a couple of years as a homeless shelter in Tacoma, and then will eventually be developed into more permanent supportive housing. Unity Commons opened in December in Olympia and is another combination project with both 65 units of supportive housing, and also on the first floor there's a 58-bed shelter. We've also been acquiring a lot of property recently. The pandemic has both created some opportunities in pricing on real estate, and also the federal government has been willing to fund projects, and the federal and state governments have been willing to fund what we call rapid acquisition. And we've been able to buy projects that were already built but unoccupied, and we're able to rapidly move in, hundreds of homeless people into these projects right away. And since they're already built, we didn't have to go through the development process, and we're able to get them for about, the whole project's cost about 3/4 of what they normally would if we had built them from scratch. And also they happened in about 6 months instead of 4 years, which was great. Here's just some pictures of our urban rest stops, which I mentioned earlier. And then tiny house villages. Each tiny house is about 8 by 12, is insulated, has heat, electricity, and a locking door. Each village includes showers, laundry, kitchen, community spaces, office spaces for a manager and case manager. And villages serve populations not served by traditional shelters, families, couples, people with pets. The villages have 24/7 staffing, so there's always someone on site to help with any issues that come up. Each village has a special projects manager who manages the site, a case manager who provides case management services to the residents, and village organizers who provide security and operational support. To live in the village, we don't have, the barriers are pretty low to living in the villages, but residents must agree to abide by a code of conduct as a requirement for staying on the site. And we do have an established grievance process to deal with any issues that come up between residents and staff, or residents and other residents. The supportive services we provide, one of the main problems homeless people have with just getting started in anything is that they don't have ID. And our case managers are experts at going through the process of getting someone without ID. And they're also experts in how to get housing, employment, healthcare, childcare, all these things, and they meet with the residents very regularly. The Tiny House Village program had a lot of success. Last year, 56% of people exiting the Tiny House Village program wound up in either permanent or transitional housing. I'm not going to go through all the data listed there, but one of the advantages we have is kind of the synergy between our homeless programs and our permanent housing programs. oftentimes we can move people right from a tiny house into one of our permanent housing projects. And here's Rosie's Village, which I think many of you have seen and even volunteered at. This opened in October and has 36 tiny houses. It's right at the corner of 45th and Roosevelt by the Trader Joe's. And I'm just going to show you some of the other villages we have. This village, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the official name of, but translates in the Puyallup tribes language to place of transformation. This opened last April, and we're actually going to be turning the operations of this one over to the Puyallup tribe. It's on their land. They asked for our help in setting it up and managing it initially, but I think maybe next month, after it's been open for 1 year, we're just completely turning it over to them. And you see the picture in the lower left. The tribe chose this organization of houses, which is really cool looking, sort of out of their tribal spirit of having a circle of circling up for meetings and gatherings and that kind of thing. Another one that opened in November was the first village in Bellingham. It's been visited by the governor and a lot of other elected officials. We partner with the city of Bellingham on that one. And the most recent one that opened in Seattle was Friendship Village in North Seattle. It's on the location of the former Black Angus at 125th and Aurora. This one's in partnership with the city of Seattle. And that is the end of my presentation. I would be happy to take any questions you have.
So for those of you who are not familiar with the Tiny House Villages, I love that program and I want to give it a huge shout out. I live in Ballard, and one of our parks in Ballard had become basically a tent city. And no matter how you feel about the issue of sweeps of the homeless, one of the things that I thought was so fantastic is that the tiny house villages were able to absorb most of the folks from that park when they were asked to leave the park. And the number of homeless people that they talked to who were interviewed in the paper and said, going into a tiny house is like, it's so dignified, and it gives you a sense of agency and autonomy. And as a pet owner and pet lover, and I know there are lots of you on this call, could you imagine if somebody said you cannot take your beloved fur baby with you? Like, I think that the level of dignity that program that Lehigh treats people with is so impressive. And I just really love your program. So thanks for being here today, Aaron.
Thank you. Yeah, many people will accept shelter in a tiny house that won't accept basically any other kind of shelter offer they're given. And I should mention, speaking of sweeps, referrals to the tiny house program primarily come from the City of Seattle's HOPE team, which is the team that does the sweeps.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a fantastic program, and I really appreciate you sharing the good work. For those of you who are interested in learning more, you can check out Lehigh's website. It's lehigh.org. They are amazing, as are so many of the other organizations that are part of the CFD, and we were so excited to highlight you this year. But now we're going to move on to the good stuff, the other good stuff. I think you're all here today for awards and to find out who the winners are. And to that end, I want to introduce our fantastic co-host this year. I don't know how many years y'all have been co-hosting these awards, but you do such a great job. And I'm so excited to have back Mike Morris from DSHS, who is the committee chair of the Sno-King CFD Committee, and Ann Sarna from UW Treasury, who is the campaign chair for the UW Combined Fund Drive. So Ann and Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Jolene. So it is time now to honor our nominees, and we're going to announce all of those who were nominated by their peers, supervisors, campaign leaders, or campaign assistants. The Sno-King CFD committee took on the tough task of determining the winners, and it was a tough task this year. We talked and thought through the process because there were so many great nominees. While every volunteer is deserving of special recognition, the following were nominated and a select few were chosen to receive an award for their work on the campaign. All of our award nominees should feel extremely proud of their nomination. So we have a certificate of appreciation for every nominee, and we'll get those sent out soon. I signed them yesterday and sent them to Jolene, so she probably will get them tomorrow. And so we'll get them out as soon as we can. We'll also send out awards to all of the winners. So congratulations on your nominations. Anne.
All right, so I'm up, and I'm going to talk about the Innovative Event Award. So as you all know, having special events really helps bring attention to the CFD in addition to raising money, it raises awareness. So we present this award annually to campaign volunteers who demonstrate exemplary outreach and innovation in planning and executing CFD campaign events. This year, campaign presented a variety of challenges, as you all know, with COVID and everything in transition. And these coordinators rose to the occasion by being really creative. So the nominees this year for the Innovative Event Award are Halloween Happenings, that's with Jim Becker from the Information School. Harborview Medical Center Chance Auction with Fran Kwok. An event that I was very aware of because it's part of finance. Stay Home Movie Night, which was a campy movie put on by Diane, Kiera, and Kimberly. And then UW HR House of Kindness, which was put on by Alberto Lacau Jr., Joseph Lavey, Genevieve Leclerc, Jennifer Malahan, Aaron Mercer, and Adrian Tam. So I want to thank all of the nominees. And the Innovative Event Award winner is UW HR House of Kindness. I was just telling Jolene right before we started this event about how touched I was when I read about this event. And now I want to share a little bit about it with you. So this was a first-time online event that promoted the Low Income Housing Institute with the goal of contributing enough money to fund a tiny house and also create innovation and generosity. It started with one person saying they would donate $1 for every kind message someone posted about a colleague on Teams. And I believe this is also the first year that we use Teams for this type of an event. So there was a lot of technology involved and work put on by other people behind the scenes, Jolene and other people that helped support this. So we want to thank all the people who supported the technology part as well. So soon the messages started pouring in, demonstrating the level of gratitude each HR employee felt for those around them. As the messages continued, another employee inspired by those words also pledged to match a $1 donation. Then another, until every dollar donated to Lehigh equaled 4. The UW HR team came together to not only support each other, but also to support the community. This event total, together with other fundraising pushes that they did on Giving Tuesday and some matching gifts, helped UW HR raise over $4,000 for Lehigh, enough to build a tiny home. So great job, UW HR. Congratulations.
I also want to congratulate the HR at UW for their House of Kindness. What we don't need more than kind words. So thank you so much. I think it was a great idea, and I hope other people steal that idea and copy it next year as well, because I think it's wonderful. So our next award is Outstanding Team Award. This award is presented annually to a group of CFD volunteers that demonstrates exemplary teamwork while promoting and educating employees about the benefits of giving through the CFD. This year's nominees were UW Finance and Administration, Diane Renesti, Cameron Daniel Smith, Sally Day, Kiara Elliott, Sylvia Farah, Melissa Hall, Kimberly Janey, Ann Lawson, Heather Nicholson, Ann Sarna, John Whitney, and Scott Wynn. UW Information Technology, Amanda Wing and Ann Rockymore. UW Medicine IT Services, Amber Jeffries, Stephanie Schuster, Leanne Tartagalia, and Christine Wagner. Michael Rand, Adrienne Acapora, Stacy Flower, Appy Maloney.
Actually, Mike, that was a bad edit on my part. You don't need to read those last names.
Thank you, because I got confused there for a minute. So this year, the award for Outstanding Team Award goes to UW Information Technology. Congratulations, Ann and Andy. Thank you. So
let's hear a little bit about what they did.
Yeah, so
I'll go ahead.
The info part is right.
Yeah, okay. These rookie coordinators hit the ground running like a seasoned pros. While participating in other events, UW IT hosted 2 of their own. These events allowed the IT department to connect as a team and raise money. They opened their events to the whole UW community, helping build connections across teams. Win, win, win. Andy and Ann's events use the UW CFD to unite people together by giving them opportunities to engage with the people around them, while also raising money for the larger community. They also assisted in a coat drive, Roots, a local young adult shelter. Throughout the campaign, Ann and Andy were on top of things. Their events also helped spread the word about the UW CFD through UW IT and all around campus, as they allowed all departments to join them to support Lehigh. Congratulations, UW IT.
Congratulations. And I just want to say, if anyone's reading the comments, I think it's Andy is a bit of a comedian. So be sure and read those comments. Just thanking mom and baby Jesus. So you're very funny. We should have you actually be reading these instead of Mike and I. We probably make it even more fun. So our next award is the Dean Spear Award for Excellence. And I'll explain what that is. Dean Spear is very active in our campaign for many, many years. He's a longtime UW employee. He's a retiree and UW Combined Fund Drive campaign assistant. And he's been a champion of the program and advocate for employees giving back, going back decades. So I've been with this campaign in over 20 years, and Dean supersedes me. And I always looked as Dean as a role model for how to participate and how to generate excitement. And so Dean's had a big influence on how much money we've raised and how we think about the campaign here at the University of Washington. This award is given annually in Dean's honor to a Sno-King volunteer who displays the attributions of enthusiasm, professionalism, positivity, outstanding service, commitment, and passion to and for the Combined Fund Drive. And our nominees for the Dean Spear Award for Excellence are Philip Buff, who's with the UW Department of Occupational and Health Safety, and Jim Becker, UW iSchool. And the winner this year is Jim Becker from the iSchool. So I'll tell you a little bit about what Jim did. Jim made it a goal to run a successful campaign and to raise the money it would take to build a tiny house. And remember, it's at least $4,000 to build that house. So that's a very big goal to take on. And that is exactly what the iSchool accomplished. They raised more than enough money to build a tiny home. To start the campaign, Jim invited a speaker from Lehigh. And after that meeting, Jim sent out a specific iSchool coin jar so folks could donate. Then he emailed reminders and hosted 2 fundraisers, and they got close to that total. An iSchool employee who was very generous helped close that funding gap. And ultimately, Jim and the iSchool were able to raise over $4,885 for Lehigh blowing away their goal, which was 4,200, right out of the water. He was able to really ignite a passion in folks, encourage them to make a difference, no matter what the size. He did a great job engaging folks interested in the campaign, especially in these crazy times when folks are in hybrid or working completely remote. He adapted well to a virtual campaign and was able to open up to any ideas that would accomplish the goal of raising enough money for a tiny home. This is a large accomplishment for one department to have raised the funds for an entire house, especially when the UW as a whole raised a total of enough funds for 10 tiny homes. So congratulations on Jim on receiving this award, and congratulations to Lehigh because you got a tiny home from all of the work that Jim and his department did. So congratulations.
Thanks, Jim. So the next award that we're going to present is the Spirit of Service Award. This award is presented annually to veteran CFDC coordinators who have gone that extra mile during the Combined Fund Drive campaign. Each campus or agency nominates its best and brightest coordinators who have helped make the CFD campaign a success. Nominees this year for the Spirit of Service are Brooke Emmerich, UW School of Medicine, Laboratory and Pathology, Diana Knight, UW Department of Chemistry, and Jacinda Luna, UW Tower. So I want to thank each of the nominees for their incredible service. I know that you go above and beyond, each and every one of you, and you've done this for years, and it is so appreciated by all of us. And this year's winner is Diana Knight. Diana is always willing to help and offer advice from her 8 years of serving as a coordinator. 8 tremendous years, thank you. One of the best things about Diana's campaign is how organized it is. She schedules out time every week for her to plan for the campaign. This includes time for her to send a weekly reminder of all the UW CFD events and updated information. Her organization and enthusiasm helped move participation in her department from 22% to 26%, a huge 4% increase. Great job. These goals were achieved with weekly communication, events, and the initiative Diana talked to members of her department about the UW CFD. One way Diana inspired others to participate was by visually supporting the UW CFD with her branded t-shirt mask and the I Am Your UW CFD campaign coordinator sign hanging on her office door. She used these as conversation starters with colleagues to explain what the CFD is while encouraging members of her department to sign up for payroll deductions. She also actively invited coworkers to attend events with her to get to know more people in her department and connect them to the UW CFD. Fantastic job, Diana. Congratulations, and thanks a lot.
So I am now up to talk about the Exemplary Leadership Award. And I just want to say before I talk about the nominees about how important this is, because I have been a coordinator and I've been a coordinator with a manager that really pumped up the campaign and said, you know, he expects everyone to participate because it's so important. And I've worked for people who just send an email that say, yeah, that's a good idea. There is a huge difference of when you have a manager that really supports the campaign, because it gives that coordinator that extra lift they need. It's almost like having a wave of support and energy that kind of raises all tides when you have a supportive leader, when you're a coordinator trying to raise money for the CFD. So I just want to thank everybody on this list because it's really important what you do and it makes a huge difference. So this award is presented to the managers who demonstrate leadership and creatively employ best practices and facilitate an effective CFD campaign. So the nominees are Mindy Kornberg and Kimberly Mishra from UW Human Resources, Melissa Kremptel from UW Advancement, Lisa McCarty from DSHS Workforce Program, and Adam Seraphin from UW Hub for the Hub. So congratulations to all of you, and thanks for your enthusiasm and excitement and support of our campaign. But there can only be one winner. So the winner this year is Lisa McCarty from DSHS Work First program. So congratulations, Lisa. I'm going to share a little bit about how she supported the campaign. So as soon as the CFD was kicked off, as soon as the CFD kicked off the fundraising for the season, Lisa started sharing information and talking about the CFD at every and all staff meetings. She announced the campaign during each staff meeting or emailed out to the office an invite for others to join and participate in the campaign. An active leader, Lisa was cheerful, persuasive, open-minded, flexible, and a great communicator. And she had lots of empathy and resilience. Lisa invited and encouraged everyone to join, volunteer, and celebrate, and she was successfully rallying her small office. So their office set a high bar to see how much they could accomplish. They donated $300 worth of toys, $300 in cash, and about 25 pounds of candies to Birthday Dreams. That was the charity of their choice for that year. So thank you so much, Lisa, for all your enthusiasm and helping DSH Work First program have a successful campaign. So congratulations to you and also to all the nominees, because we need all of these leaders to help us every year. So thank you.
Yes, thank you to all the nominees, and thank you to Lisa. Lisa and I do work together, so I'm happy that she was able to win this award. She works for the Community Service Division in our Bellevue office. So the next award is Rookie of the Year Awards. And the Rookie of the Year Award is given annually to new CFD coordinators who have gone that extra mile during the Combined Fund Drive campaign. Each agency or campus nominates its best and brightest each year for this nomination. The rookie is someone who is new to the campaign, but usually comes with all kinds of energy, and we so appreciate that energy. And it does build up new ideas, and so a really important thing for us to do, and to recognize this year the nominees of Matthew Wrighton at UW MC Advancement, Win Win at DSHS Aging and Long-Term Services Administration, Stephanie Schuster at UW Medicine IT Services, and Christine Wee at UW School of Dentistry. Congratulations to all of our nominations. This year, we've selected two nominees, Rookie of the Year, to win the award, and those are Quinn Wynn and Stephanie Schuster. Here are some of the Rookie of the Year accomplishments. For Quinn's nomination, Quinn was eager to assume the local coordinator role, and she brought an enthusiasm and desire to do a good job to the role. She asked questions, took trainings, and availed herself of the supports from both DSHS and CFD campaign managers. She just wanted to do a great job, which made her so valuable to the DSHS overall campaign, her manager, and her fellow workers. She was determined to keep the campaign visible for her colleagues by planning 4 events, 1 a month, the duration of the campaign. The events took place at the DSHS Home and Community Service Office and raised more than $1,400. She offered colleagues a variety of ways to participate and donate. Her wholehearted embrace of the campaign and communication to staff, even though they were working remotely, encouraged staff's participation. She personally wanted to do a great job in getting the word out, and she did do that. The campaign garnered staff and management support. Thank you so much, Glenn. For Stephanie's nomination she led her team connecting to the community and the campaign. She led a superbly planned and well-executed live week community engagement outreach plan that had 3 prongs: volunteering, supply drives, and cash donations, mostly using virtual coin jars for targeted charities. In the 5 weeks her campaign was running, the employee of UW Medicine IT Services have made $18,300 impact on our community via their inaugural ITS Cares Month. Over a 5-week schedule, they coordinated 25 events, activities that ended up supporting 25 nonprofits involving 78 employees and 30 friends, family members, 180 total unique volunteers, and provided 194 hours of volunteer labor. And their donation drives were valued at more than $8,000 in donated goods and $4,600 in financial donations. Stephanie continued to invite her team to UW CFD events and to encourage them to engage with the campaign. She did a great job with the team and her colleagues. Absolutely excellent job, Stephanie. We so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to both of the winners. This is an award that we present every year. You know, the UW is all about, you know, the spirit of competition. And so we have had this Spirit of Philanthropy Award that has been given to either UW Bothell or UW Tacoma. And the reason it's given is to encourage this competition and have the most, not just the most dollars, but also the highest participation levels. So both UW Bothell and UW Tacoma have been involved in this rivalry for about, for a number of years. That goes back to, I think, 2008. So they've been competing for the highest percent of participation and the most dollars raised since 2008.
2008 is correct.
Yes, and the UW Tacoma has held on to the trophy for the last 4 years. So it's a 5th year in their future. Let me open the envelope. No, there's not an envelope, it's just in my script. But anyway, both campuses worked really hard on this year's campaign, but there can only be one winner. And this year, I'm sorry to say, Tacoma, you're gonna have to hand over that award because UW Bothell has won this year. So we wanna thank you all for your hard work. UW Bothell Finance with UW Bothell and Francine Jordan. Is that 2 people or 1 person? Francine Jordan, 1 person, she led that. So UW Bothell reclaimed the title by raising $49,206 and moving their participation rate up to 13%. Congratulations to the UW Bothell campus, and please accept the Spirit of Philanthropy Perpetual Trophy. So this trophy goes back and forth. So it's a very important trophy, and I'm sure Jolynn will facilitate that handoff of the trophy to UW Bothell. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, Anne. Hi, everybody. I will facilitate the handoff of the trophy. You can see it right here. I'm going to change this to speaker view. This is the Spirit of Philanthropy Perpetual Trophy, and UW Bothell, your name will be right here, and I will send it out to you, or maybe I'll come visit the campus because it's so pretty up there. Yay! So thank you, everyone. It is like the Stanley Cup, Diana, the Stanley Cup of awesome philanthropy. Yeah, so what you all don't know is we had a little snafu getting it to us this year. UW Tacoma sent it to our campus, sent it to my office, and it magically returned back to their office. So who knows? Maybe the trophy feels a siren song is being called home to UW Tacoma, who, for the record, 4 years in a row is the longest winning streak in the Spirit of Philanthropy Trophy Award cycle. So just saying. All right, so thank you, everyone. This is always so exciting to do this, to go through this, the volunteer recognition event, and to see all the work that you do. It is really super difficult to sit at a table and decide, but it is because you're all doing such amazing work. I think all of you, whether you were actively nominated or not, should get an award and get some recognition for the fact that you stepped up and you moved outside of your regular world. And in addition to all the work you normally do, right? Like you did this too, and it's really amazing, and it makes a tremendous difference in the community. And now I want to introduce some of our friends. Thank you, Nicole. I get an award. My award for being super awesome is that I get to like have a lot of chocolate and candy in my office that I get to give away to you. So I do not eat them all. So yeah. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, We have some folks from the state CFD office here. I want to thank them for coming. We have Robert Lane, we have Layla and Renee and Aaron. And I don't know if Heather Hirataka is here today or not. But that is the staff that works really hard at the state to make sure all the CFD trains run on time everywhere. And so I want to welcome a special presenter from the state CFD office. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Heather Hirataka, but it might be Robert, to just give you a little information about the total campaign and to add their copious praise to the copious praise that I have for all of you and that we have in the chat, which by the way is awesome. So Robert, did you or Heather want to do a quick shout out, thank you, join us now?
Yeah, sure, of course. So part of my favorite part of any type of job, especially philanthropic work, is the recognition, because I think it's something that even though the people that are working every day know the work that we do, we don't always take the moment to pause and say thank you. And so I know for a fact that there are days where I 100% take for granted the work that people do, because there's just so many moving parts and so many volunteers, right? On a statewide level, we have nearly 1,000 volunteers between the state agencies. And the work couldn't happen without everyone and their part. And I think that someone for me who joined last year in the middle of a pandemic and truly continued to watch in awe of how our agencies shifted and just adjusted as seemingly as they could was just inspirational. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things that you don't really get it until you see the big numbers. And so I am really proud of the fact that at the end of the day, last year, we were able to pledge just over $5 million for the 2022 year, which is something that I know Jolyn and I multiple times through the year kept thinking, are we gonna make it? Is it gonna happen? And I'm really pleased to say that it did. And although our overall pledge did reduce a little bit, I'm very happy to say that our overall participation increased by nearly 400 participants. So we're sitting roughly at around 15,400 participants in the state, which is great. We saw a slow decline over the last few years, and I think that we've now turned that around and are really working towards increasing our participation. I think another great thing that you all can participate in, depending on what agency you're a part of and what retirement plan is, but we've seen an increase over the last 5 years of our DRS retirees. So the system retirees that are continuing to donate even in retirement through their PERS plans is just something that is beautiful. You know, 5 years ago, we had about $50,000 donated on an annual basis. This past year, we hit almost $250,000 from our system retirees, which I think is just is telling of the types of individuals that are drawn towards our program, that they are truly lifelong givers, that even as they leave the state, they're still trying to figure out how they can give back. I know that Aaron Aquino, who's our program coordinator, talked to a retiree yesterday that was like, I just want to start planning more events and really invigorating the system retirees. And it was heartwarming. And so truly, I just wanted to take a moment and say, thank you all for all the hard work that you do. I know that these last few years have been really difficult. I'm really excited for our team to get back into the community safely as these restrictions are lifted and start seeing some of your smiling faces. It's been a joy for the few of you that I have been able to meet in person and go to some of the events that you've hosted, and hope that we can continue the collaborative nature between our organizations. I love, breaking down silos and working in a way that really benefits all partner organizations, and getting back to the real mission, which is together we can make a huge impact. And, people don't need to donate hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It really starts with $1 a paycheck, and just looking at the impact that that could make if we had all 120,000 state employees donating just $1 a paycheck, right? That could generate an extra $2 million a year for our community. And it's very exciting. I think it's totally obtainable. And I just want to sincerely thank you all from the bottom of my heart for the warm welcome this year. I know that our team has started as a skeleton crew in the beginning of 2021, but I know from the state perspective, we are fully staffed and we are fully committed to continuous improvement in our system and for continuous improvement when it comes to reaching out and being there and supporting you all in the mission that you bring. So thank you again for today. I love seeing all the awards and hearing all the amazing things that happened that I didn't even have to second guess, right? Because you all are just so on top of it that I'm like, that's awesome that that happened. And I love taking those moments to pause and really soak it all in. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Robert. Robert, so an exciting thing that Robert did not tell you, aside from the fact that we're up by participants, which, let me be abundantly clear, I would always rather have more participants than more money. This is an employee giving campaign, and it's about engaging employees and empowering them to be philanthropists and to be in the place where they are. So I am very excited. UW was up in our giving numbers for the first time in 5 years. So yay, really exciting stuff. But what Robert didn't tell you is, for those of you who are fundraising nerds, who've heard us be number 4 in the nation based on size of campaign, and then we slowly crept up to number 3. And the other 3 states we're competing against are California, New York, and Texas. So like, think about those in terms of population. And guess who's number 2 this year? Washington.
Yes. So
that is a really exciting accomplishment, and I'm so proud to be part of a team that made that happen.
I wasn't sure how much of a humble brag we could have, so I was trying to be.
No way,
like
that is totally brag worthy. We are a state by population that is so much smaller, and you all are so incredibly generous, and you make so much good work happen that I want to say thank you with door prizes. Because you all know that if it's an event I'm at and there's not a door prize, I think I might actually break out in hives. So I have the ever fabulous Dean Spear to help me with door prizes. And our very first one, I'm getting it out. Like, you're like, oh, I'm so excited I can see. A $50 gift card to the Cheesecake Factory. Wait, there it is. So you can go and celebrate all the good and awesomeness. There is no I in team Andy, but there is a me. So my son told me that. I have a son who is like a budding comedian, and like, he is legitimately one of the funniest people I know. And as the person who has to discipline him, it's really hard sometimes, but I digress. Dean, are you there?
I am here. Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations and thank you to everyone. Our first lucky winner, and I apologize if I mispronounced the last name, is Alan Sapalarian.
Congratulations, Alan. You can take this and go celebrate, or, you know, if you want to improve your reading skills, you can read the whole menu, because I tried to take my son to the Cheesecake Factory and there were too many choices and we had to go someplace else. So the next 2 things are totally a UW CFD gift pack. It's this beautiful mug from Imagine Housing. And on the back it says, home is where the coffee is. So legitimately, as long as there is coffee, I am at home, at work, at my house, in my car, pretty much everywhere. And you know what goes really good with coffee? Delicious chocolate from our friends at J. Coco. This is from the fabulous folks at Seattle Chocolates, courtesy of Northwest Harvest. This is an 80% dark chocolate. This is a special origin chocolate. I am not even kidding you. This is really some of the best dark chocolate you will ever eat. If you don't know how to eat dark chocolate appropriately, because there is actually a method, And we learned it when we toured Theo's Chocolate, and it's not cramming it in your face mouth as fast as you can, which is what I do. Let me know. But we have 2 of these, and we also have a $10 Starbucks gift card to go with it. So Dean, who was our first winner?
Again, I apologize if I don't pronounce your name exactly correctly. It's Shara or Shara Wustig or Wustig.
Congratulations, Shara.
And the other one is Kay Tickner.
Congratulations, Kay. Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. I will get these out to you in our office mail. I also have just one quick reminder. If you did not get a shirt, please, 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 we have 2 kinds of, this was our Sno-King shirt this year. We have a crew neck and a V-neck. Please let me know. I'm happy to send these to you. These are awesome. They're beautiful. They say unity in the community and have all kinds of nice, awesome stuff on it. State CFD office, let me know. As I said, I have a drawer full of these. And then we also have our, I for real want these to be our t-shirts forever. These are our UW CFD t-shirts. If you did not get one, let me know. I only have V-neck left in these. With the other t-shirts, I have V-neck and crew neck. You can just email me directly and I'll send them out. And then last, but certainly not least for this little presentation, I want to turn it back over to Mike Morris to wrap us up and bring us home.
Thanks, Jolene. So, we are ahead of schedule. Virtual events don't really take as long as when we get to be in person. I do miss being in person. I do want to say that. And I miss all the great food we have at our events that we've always had, evening events. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do that for everybody and be on track with the in-person recognition event, which I think really helps with a more thorough celebration and a reward for all the hard work that you guys do. So let me first thank the UW and Sno-King events committees. Everybody who's been on both of those committees has worked extremely hard, and I appreciate all that you've done. I also want to say a special thank you to Jolene and Nicole, who have just worked so hard all year long. It has been so much more difficult with this all being remote, I think in many ways, and we have left most of that work that needs to happen to Jolene and Nicole, and they stepped up the plate and they've done it so well. And I just personally appreciate both of them so much. So thank you both for doing an absolutely fantastic job with the campaign for the last couple of years during this unique way of doing business with the current pandemic going on. The training that you provided and put together, you guys did by yourselves. Usually we've had more help that we've gotten to you to do those things, mailing out all the boxes. Jolene, you did that all by yourself because you're the only one there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to invite any of the nominees or anyone else that would like to participate in either of those committees, the Sno-King committee or the UW Special Events Committee. Please, we're always looking for more participation. Hopefully we'll get back to doing at least some of those meetings in person. But currently we meet once every other month, and your participation would be greatly appreciated. So anyone who's interested, please let Jolene or myself or Nicole know, and we'll get you set up and looked up to participate. I also want to say a special thank you to all the nominees. Again, congratulations to all the winners of the different categories today. And I want to say thank you from deep in my heart for all that you do. We can never say thank you enough. Saying it 7 times is supposed to actually get there and get to the point, but I don't know that that's even close to the amount of times we need to thank you for all you do. All of you work so hard every day doing the work that you do to support the state of Washington, to support its citizens. It doesn't matter what department the UW work in, it doesn't matter what department in the state you work in, you're dedicated to the citizens of Washington, and you work extremely hard and are not necessarily recognized for all the work that you do. And I so appreciate that you do for all of us during your 8-hour-a-day, 14-hour work week. But on top of that, you as coordinators have dedicated so much more to helping the citizens of Washington, to helping the people in the United States and globally through all the commitment you do each and every day to make the campaign as successful as it has been. $5 million that helped individuals throughout the world because you did that extra amount of work. And there is not enough enough times I can say thank you to really get across the point that I so appreciate this. And so does every other citizen who has benefited from the work that you do each and every day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep up the good work. I hope next year is just as successful as this year has been. And I hope you will continue to be as dedicated as you have been during the workday and for the extra you do for the campaign. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jolynn, anything else? Or are
I
you
just want
having
to
a good day?
say thank you, Mike and Anne, for your continued leadership. We've had to do a lot of shifting during the pandemic and the post-pandemic and the and all the things. Yes, we are recording this and we will post it on the UW CFD website, and I will send it to the state and see if they can post it as well. Also, the winners actually get a glass award, but I don't have them in yet. So once I get them in, I will happily send them out or bring them to your office and shower you with praise and chocolate and just the same genuine affection that Mike feels for the amazing work that you did. This is a team effort in the very best way, and that's why we got these little guys to just say thanks a bunch for all your hard work. Thanks for sharing a little bit of time with us so we could recognize your good efforts and know how much you are appreciated. Have a lovely day.
Thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone. It's been so nice seeing you. I wanted to do so. I wanted to yay. Thank you, everyone.